And we are on air.
Hi guys, my name is Brianna, and I have a lot of childhood memories that I would love to share with you guys, but they're all too small to have their own story time video, so I thought I'd take a whole bunch of them and make a big mashup of a bunch of mini childhood memory story times. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so I'm going to start with a small one that honestly I don't even remember, but my dad always says it's one of his favorite memories of me as a little kid. So I was in like early elementary school and I had always gotten really good grades. And all the other kids, you know, coming off the bus would be like, oh, like, Mom, Dad, I got like a 90 on my test. And I would get, you know, 90s, 100s and everything, and I wouldn't do that. I'd just come home. So one day my parents said to me, you know, Bri, how come you never do that like the other kids do? And I said, you want me to do that? And they said, yeah, why don't you do that? That's cute. So the next day, I came home, and I don't know what the grade was, but it was terrible. A terrible, terrible grade. And I come running off the bus, Mom, Dad, I got a super bad grade. And they're like, seriously? The one time you decide to shout your grade to us is when you don't get a good one? It was just funny. Okay, so now let's get into one that I don't think my parents even know about. I was in 3rd grade at the time, and I have neighbors that live near me. One right next door is a girl who I was really close friends with through all of elementary school, and then a couple houses down on the other side is a boy who we weren't super close with, but me and the girl would go over and hang out with him like a decent amount. We hung out more just us, but we would go and we'd hang out with him and stuff like that. So keep in mind, this was 3rd grade, so this was like when it's like, oh my gosh, like kissing? What? So the girl, I don't want to say names because I don't know if they're comfortable with me sharing this, so that's why I'm just going to refer to them as the girl and the boy. So the girl, while we were playing Truth or Dare, she dared me and the boy to kiss. And we were little kids, so we were like, oh my gosh, we can't do that. Oh my gosh, what if our parents see us? We're gonna get in so much trouble. We can't kiss, that's not allowed. So we went and pretended like we were playing hide and seek, and me and the boy hid behind his mother's van and we kissed. And it was just like that's it, that was it. It was so short. But his sister saw us. She was a couple years older than us. She was in like 5th grade, I think. So she was like, ooh, I'm gonna tell Mom. And she never did tell. But every time, like, we did something, you know, like that she could, like, she didn't want us doing because we were in her way or this or that, she'd always be like, guys, I could always just go tell Mom about the time you guys kissed behind the van. And it was just so funny because we're all just kids and none of us knew what we were doing, and it was just so funny to just think about and look back on. Another funny memory is the first time I ever jumped out of a tree. I was so scared to jump out of a tree for some reason. I don't know why, but like all the other kids were like able to just do it and they were having so much fun, and I was so scared to just jump out of a tree. So we were camping. I was young, but you know, I should have been jumping out of a tree by then. Really short tree. Such a short tree. We were camping in Hershey Park, and I finally got up the guts to just jump out of the tree. And my mom was there and whatever, it was cool. But my dad wasn't. So me and my mom were like, okay, I gotta keep practicing. I gotta get so good at this. When Dad gets home, I'm gonna blow him away with my jumping out of the tree skills. So I just kept getting in the tree and jumping out and getting in the tree and jumping out. And then when my dad got back to the campsite, I like got in the tree and I was like, Mom, like, call Dad over. And he came over and he's like, oh, what, you like need help getting out of the tree? And I was like, no, I can jump out of it now. And I just jumped out of the tree, such a tiny little tree, and I was so excited that I could finally jump out of a tree. But the next one actually also takes place at Hershey. They have like a stream or like a river, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure what you would call it, a water thing that has fish in it. So again, I was young. I think this might have been the same trip as the jumping out of the tree one. So I was by the water with some other kids from the campground, whatever. We saw the fish and we were catching them with our hands. We were just fishing with our hands. I actually caught some too. And I don't know, I just always thought that was so funny. We just went and we were just fishing with our hands. But obviously that's not really how you fish, so that brings me to my next story. The first time I learned how to fish, we were at a campground called Otter Lake, and interestingly enough, I met these 3 boys there. They had the campsite right next to us, and we quickly became very close friends. I also am not going to share their names for privacy reasons, but I found out that they live a half hour away from my house, which is crazy because we were in Pennsylvania and I'm from New York. And we just found out that we're from like really close to each other. Bonkers. But they loved fishing, so they taught me how to fish, and I don't know why, but I like fell in love with it. So I made my dad take me right away to the camp store so we could get a knife so I could fish like good, cut up the worms and everything. So I got this really pretty like holographic like rainbow knife. So we call it my rainbow knife. And so now every time we talk about fishing, whenever I have my rainbow knife. But while we're on the topic of these boys, while we were camping, I just have so many fun memories. So I'll just like list like one like funny thing is we would sit at the table like outside the camper until like so late talking about random stuff, and one of the boys, he had a really good memory for commercials, so he would just recite commercials, and it was just so funny. We would get pretty loud, and every time the security came by, because it was like obviously so late at night when we shouldn't have been being loud at that point, so he'd always be like, shh, nobody, shh, security's passing by, so you don't get in trouble for being loud. No, it was just always so funny. And then a few years later, I actually invited them for my birthday. I think this was my 15th birthday, might have been my 14th, I'm not sure. We went to like a haunted park thing, like I don't know, like a Halloween themed thing. My birthday's in November, so we went at the very beginning of November, so early for my birthday and late for Halloween, but like perfect. And I remember it was so funny because I had brought another friend with me as well, and we were so scared. We were just clinging to one of the guys because the other one wanted to wait outside because he was scared to go into like where like the like you have to walk through and all the people are around and like dressed up and scary, and yeah. So I don't know, I just have so many fun memories with them. Another funny memory that I'm not sure if my parents know about was in 4th grade. So I had a huge crush on this boy. Once again, not going to say names, but this other girl also had a huge crush on him. So he dated both of us. Not at the same time, but like he dated one of us and dated the other. And then he was like kind of like going back and forth between us. I mean, we were in 4th grade, it's ridiculous. So me and this girl, we were fighting over him. And I don't know, I just always find it so funny because he turned out to be gay. And me and this girl just spent months fighting over this guy. And I don't know, I just always found that so ridiculous. Another funny memory is when I was a kid, I wanted to dress up as Hannah Montana for Halloween. And I did. But for some reason, my grandfather decided to put on the Hannah Montana wig. It was just so funny and hysterical. He always does like silly stuff like that, and it's just so funny. Another memory, this one, I still don't understand to this day. I mean, then again, my like memory of it is still like from a little kid's perspective. Like I don't really truly know what happened, because in my head everyone else was freaking out and I didn't know why. So me, along with those neighbors that I mentioned earlier and some other kids, I don't really remember who was there, and there's parents out and whatever, we were riding our bikes around, whatever. So I had gone into the neighbor across the street from me. I went into their driveway to turn around, to turn my bike around. And I think I was still in the driveway. Like, I had started to go down the driveway, and then I stopped because I saw a car. but everyone else swears that I hit the car. And I still don't think this happened, but everyone just started freaking out, and the driver got down and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? I am fine. Nothing happened." And it was just a whole big like mess, blah 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 blah. And like, I don't know, I always found it so ridiculous, because in my like memory, and even that when it happened, nothing happened. I didn't hit the car, nothing happened. I was just waiting. Like, I started to go down the driveway and then stopped before I even hit the road. But everyone else says, so, I don't know, that's just kind of like a crazy like memory thing, and like a perception thing, and like a, how could I perceive something happened to me wrong? But obviously if everyone said it, like, I don't know, still crazy to me. Okay, and the last one is just another like funny like elementary school like kissing type of thing. So it was my 5th grade dance, and I was going with this boy, once again to remain unnamed, but he, I thought, was a really good dancer, and my dad was chaperoning the dance. So I decided to drag my dad over and say, "Oh my gosh, look at him dancing, Dad, isn't he so good?" And I made him dance for my dad. Ugh. And then I remember me and him, we were there, we had like a clique in like elementary school. It was me, this boy, a friend who you guys know from my videos, so if you really want to go try and figure out who it is, it's fine, because they're not really relevant to the story, but still gonna not say who it is. And then one other girl who you shouldn't know who they are. Anyways, so me and this boy were there as dates, but we were also there with our friend group. We were in like 5th grade, and I remember me and him, they had all the cafeteria tables lined up against the wall. Me and him kept trying to like sneak away to go behind the cafeteria tables to kiss, but because we were there with our friend group, every time we were about to, someone else would come over and be like, "Hey, what you guys up to?" And blah, 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 blah. And I remember it was so funny, because me and him were both so upset at the time that we never got to kiss at the dance. But I just think it was so funny, because I don't know, we're just stupid kids. I don't know, I just think it's so funny. But yeah, those were just some of my childhood memories. If you guys want me to do a video like this again, comment down below, and I'll see if I can think of any more things I'd like to share with you guys. But alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah!